Okay, so we are live now. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hacker TV, our very own podcast of ASAC 3.0. ASAC 3.0 is basically a 24-hour long hackathon, and it's one of Jaipur's biggest hackathons. And if you participate, you stand a chance to win prize pools of over 25 lakhs and very exciting swags and prizes. So I hope you have participated, and I really wish to see you there. So our today's guest is Shambhavi Gupta. Now, Shambhavi, my first question to you is, how are you doing? How's life? How's everything?
Yeah, everything is going absolutely wonderful. I have been doing a lot of freelancing for more than 10 ethics right away from past 3 years. So it's absolutely going wonderful.
Right. So to kick it off, can you briefly outline your professional background and experience in data science?
Absolutely. So I'll just tell you about myself. First of all, right now I'm working as an instructor at
Yeah.
Udemy, where I have trained more than 60,000 students with my 15 plus courses spread all over 176 plus countries. Apart from that, I work as a SME at Upgrad, video content creator for Geeks for Geeks, Great Learning, Jaipur, Lambda Test. I have my own YouTube channel also that is Fun with Data Science. And I'm a three-time Joe Stock speaker. So, like everything, whatever I have been doing, you take it in Upgrad, Udemy, or Geeks for Geeks, wherever, it's completely based on data science, right? So my main field of expertise is data science itself and completely creating the content, mentoring the students, working on projects. Everything just has been completely done onto the data science itself. Yeah, so that's what I
Right.
have been doing.
Right. So data science is very important, right?
Absolutely.
So could you share a project with us where data science was really a really pivotal in achieving a goal for solving a problem where they use data science as their main focus?
Okay. So I guess back last year in 2023 around May, I was doing an internship actually at that time. So that was of a junior data scientist only. I did that internship in Hyderabad. So there the data which I was working on with that was completely helping me like to go ahead and get down all of the stuffs from your this particular part of your data science only, right? So into that particular part, what I just did was that we had a students data. Okay, and apart from that, we
Right.
just even had data for the employees also. So there actually that the students data I had to work in completely with the tableau portions and all of those, so that it was helping me to generate the insights that okay, students are more interested to join the class in the morning or in the afternoon, in the evening, right? Or maybe which instructor they are preferring up the most, or maybe what are the batch timings which they are referring, right? There were also different
Right.
types of courses going on to that way. So there I just figured out that okay, with the data science only we just applied all the things and simply just got that idea that okay, students are at what particular course they're enrolling the most. So these were a
Right.
kind of few problems which I was given at that time to solve in, and those all will completely were done with the help of data science itself. So the project
Right.
which I remember lastly which I completely worked over data science was this. Apart from that, there were a few projects like there was one project of OMR detection. That is, students used to
Right.
give the test onto the OMR sheets, and then
Yeah.
we had to make a kind of an application where we just scan that OMR through the phone and we just get the result, the total marks, that how much
Right.
marks students were enrolled. So yeah, deep learning was also involved in that particular part, but yeah, at the initial where data science was also a very initial part because having that data first was pretty important. But completely for data science, that was only the project which I remember lastly I did it.
Right. That sounds very interesting. So could you tell me how you incorporate external data sources or APIs into projects and what impacts they have?
Whenever you want to work with something kind of a live data, as in let's
Mhm.
say, we just try to give a lot of data onto different social medias, different platforms. Like wherever you just step in, they have your data. That okay, this particular person is stepped into
Right.
that particular place, right? So
Right.
whenever you want to work with the live data, that is where the most APIs actually help you out. I was working on to weather app project. So it's that weather app project I had worked on with the proper APIs. And when you just take out the data which has been stored in the API format and when you check onto the APIs and data which is there, that is quite very different from the data which we actually get it onto Excel. In
Yes.
Excel, we have a proper
Yes.
format of row, column, everything, right? But
Yeah.
when we check the data which you extract it live, that is just in a form of dictionaries, list, array, right? So at
Right.
that initial time, we have to sort out that data, convert into proper rows and columns, then we have to work in. So that is something
Yeah.
more interesting part when you have to get to do everything onto your own, right? Just sorting out everything, preparing your data even onto your own thing. So that's pretty important. And yeah, again, I would say whenever you want to work with anything live project, let's say you have made a Tableau dashboard, right? And now you just want that
Right.
Tableau dashboard must be updated every time as two person is entering into my website. It should be updated onto that dashboard. So yeah, there you can
Yeah.
just connect it with the APIs and it will help you to do. I don't exactly remember that name of the app, but during the COVID times, there was an app which was launched in by the government. So if you were just
Right.
going to that, yeah, that co-vaccine, I don't exactly
Right.
remember
Right.
the
Right.
app
Yeah.
name, right? So if you have checked that app, so down in the line, there was a graph which was continuously every
Yeah.
time exceeding and exceeding. So that was actually the work of the APIs only. So that is how APIs really work, and it's more interesting when you just get to see everything live being done.
Yeah. So while working on projects like these, how do you manage models complexity versus its interpretability?
Complexity of the model. See, whole data science part is pretty simple. You can apply the mathematics, you can apply the Tableau, you can go with the Excel, SQL, everything. The place
Right.
where we generally stuck is at the very end when we have to apply the model. We like choosing that what is a perfect model is sometimes a little difficult task because we never know that the data which we are having, that what kind of like let's say I just understood that okay, my data is having these kind of data types, these kind of columns, these kind of
Right.
rows. I just understood everything, right? Now there I have to figure it out or classification or regression. Let's say I figured out, let's say I want to go with regression. Now which regression, linear or logistic? Okay, then I figured out the okay,
Right.
linear regression. Now simple or multiple, which linear regression? So lot of things you have to figure it out at the initial level, that what are you gonna apply in, right?
Yeah.
Because everything over there is having a lot of sub branches. So when I talk about the model complexity, dealing with that, so I would say that the basics of machine learning really plays a very important role when you have to choose
Okay.
which model to apply. At the whenever
Okay.
I train students, any batch, whenever I take anything, so I just try to explain them, let them know that okay, you can write the code. That's pretty simple. I completely agree. You will get the codes online
Right.
also. You can just start GPT and take the copy and use it onto your code, right? But
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
place you really get stuck is what to use. So that initially comes on with the machine learning theoretical portions which we have to study at least 1 or 2 days in the very starting, where we are taught what is this and in which condition we have to use this particular part.
Right.
So I would surely recommend everyone that when even I had learned about these particular things, so I had initially given 4 to 5 days completely the only the theoretical part, nothing practical. I just gave it onto
Right.
the way that if I just have to apply this okay, I have this data, let's say of a student's data, which I was working back at that time, right, in my internship. Now, which model
Okay.
I have to choose and reject that, okay, if I apply this, this would happen, or if I apply that, this would happen. There's nothing like that.
Right.
If I
Right.
have one data, so you can't apply multiple models into that. That's nothing, right? You can apply as many models you want, but you have to choose the best fit of that for getting the best
Mm.
accuracy and completely going through your data, right? So you have to figure
Right.
out these questions into your own mind, that if I apply logistic regression, what will happen? If I apply maybe decision trees, then what will happen? And if I don't apply these two, if I apply any third one, so will that be a better choice or not? So when you are just dealing with all these questions, when you have the correct answer, so I don't think so that there is anything you can't do with the machine learning part. Moving ahead with the same, so you have
Right.
to very clear with what to apply. Just listen about what to apply, then everything, the training, testing, applying, accuracy prediction, everything will be completely done. So yeah, that is what I
Right.
would just have to suggest everyone, and that even I had implemented onto myself, that try to choose whatever is completely fixed for you. Just what is the
Right.
best one to choose.
Yeah. Okay. So I was reading about data analysis and how it is all done. So I wanted to ask you a question. Could you explain the role of EDA, exploratory data analysis, in initial data science projects? How do we implement that?
Okay, EDA, that is all about visualization actually, and that is my favorite part also when it comes about data analysis or data science. That's literally the part which I
Right.
love the most over there. Sorry. So,
Yeah.
it's all about that we always have a data in a tabular format, rows and columns. We have the data all about,
Right.
right? Now we just have to convert that data into visual forms like your bar charts, line charts, pie charts, scatter plots, bar plots. You have a lot
Right.
of very long list of all of these. So that is what
Right.
exactly EDA means. So as to
Right.
visualize my complete data into the format of the different charts. And like why is it important? Because even the theories also prove that if we see something in the visual format, if we see a diagram,
Right.
that's pretty much
Right.
more understandable and more clear to us rather than seeing anything written over there. So as
Yeah.
to get to understand about my data in the best out of the way, we just try to do that EDA portions, make a lot of plots, try to understand what is the trend going on. Now, see, if I have, let's
Mm.
say, 50,000 rows of data, I can find out in
Right.
2007 what was the sales, in 2018 what was the sales. I have to apply a lot of functions over there. Either I'll use Excel or I'll be using Python for applying all those things. But if I'll just simply do the EDA portions, I would just get a very beautiful graph about the bar plots. And each and every bar is represented. Okay,
Right.
in 2018, this was a complete sales. In 2019, this was the sales. And it will show you the graphical order also that when it has been decreasing, when it has been increasing, everything you will get to understand very clearly at that part. So EDAs
Right.
are the most important part as well, and we should devote actually a good time into that so as to understand about
Mm.
my data in the most better way.
Yeah. I get it. I get it. So, ASAC 3.0 is coming up, and a lot of participants have a lot of questions regarding hackathons and how to ace hackathons. So, what advice would you offer hackathon participants who are aiming to excel in data science challenges?
Okay, see, it's always that whenever you go for a hackathon, first of all, just we have it in the mind that we are competing with a lot of students over there. There
Right.
might be thousands, 10,000 of students whom we are competing, and we have to stand into that maybe 1,000, 10,000 of students because they are
Right.
only top three ranks. So first of all, just don't get under that pressure. If you are good at something, you have to show that, and you just have that 24 hours over there to showcase that you are good at this particular thing. So first of all, be calm.
Right.
And second thing is that the data science problems which you will get mostly in the hackathons, you get the real life challenges. That whatever the problems
Yes.
are in the real life, you have to solve those problems. You have to get a solution of those problems, and then you have to present about that, okay, how you have done and how you are just solving this particular problem. So it's pretty simple,
Yeah.
right? You solve a lot of problems in the everyday life. So that is also just
Right.
simple. Try to think it in a way that if you were have been at that particular place and you have been acing that particular problem, how would you have been solving it? So just try to recall
Right.
whatever you have learned in, see, starting from Python, and I would say going up till like, okay, so in the starting we use SQL, then we move to Python, we do the
Mm.
EDA. Well, the EDA part is pretty simple. Everyone could be doing very easily, and I can say that the people who take part in the hackathon, everyone is very good at the EDA part. There's no
Right.
confusion till that part that what to do, what not to do. The exact role in the hackathons or anywhere what comes over is that which machine learning model or library or whatever I have to apply, how do I have to train my model, or how do I have to test that particular, that is the main role which comes up onto the way, that what exactly to apply. And see,
Right.
whether it's a 24-hour of hackathon also, you have to take a
Yeah.
decision that, okay, I have to take this particular model and work onto it, because the real world problem that you will be getting, you cannot multiple try multiple test onto that okay, if linear is not working, I can maybe go with logistic, or I would just skip the
Yeah.
regression, I'll go with classification. You cannot multiple test onto that. You have to stick onto your
Right.
one decision and just make it do at anyhow. At anyhow, just make it do completely, that okay, here I'm able to complete my project. Do not try to switch to multiple models, multiple places, that okay, this particular part of my data is not working, so I'll take another subset of my data, or this subset is not working, I'll take another. So see, hit and trial won't work over there. You just have to
Yeah.
make up your mind, discuss with your team completely. You might have a team over there, discuss with your team, or if you're individual also, think it that how will you be able to do this and what will be the better. Again, here I would just say that machine learning basics, which I was starting telling you, that is a place which would really help you to deal with any data science problem either in the hackathon or something. So just decide on what do you have to go with, and you're all set to rock in that hackathon.
Right. Yeah, that was very interesting to listen to, because I have participated in hackathons myself, and it's always in the back of my head, like if something goes wrong while I'm making some project, how do I handle it? So has this ever happened with you? Like, have you ever had to adjust your project mid hackathon due to some unforeseen circumstances? How did you deal with it?
Okay. For hackathons, so actually, I don't remember exactly, but yeah, when I was working with a lot of projects, the real time projects, because I have been working with a lot of them previously. I even had a team for me. So, yeah,
Right.
it happens. In between, exactly, it happens that at a point you get to know that no, I took this wrong decision of taking this machine learning model. It's not gonna work. It.
Yeah.
You really
Yeah.
have that particular thing sometimes. So, see, again, you don't have to panic at that particular time. Take few minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, give that time to you, relax, and then say that with this particular model only how you can figure this out. Because see, the thing is that in the machine learning we try to choose the best model. It's not that if I'm using linear regression so that cannot be worked onto my data. It's not like that. If I
Yeah.
am using linear, it can be worked, but the best model can be a logistic model, but linear can also be applied.
Yeah.
That's not an issue at all, right? So
Yeah.
anyhow, if you're not able to choose the best model, so now let it be. And now think it on a way that how with the linear only I can go ahead and I can make my complete project work. Because at the end, my goal is to make my project work anyhow, right? And that time I
Yeah.
don't
Exactly.
worry about will I be first, second, or third. The thing which I goes is that
Yeah.
I have to make it work just for my even for my self satisfaction. Also, I have to make it work anyhow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
You just have to see it through. Right.
absolutely. So that comes here, and you just simply have to go ahead and work onto that completely. Try whatever you just want to use as many functions, take your data, train it anyway, use your all the things, whatever you are having, do it accuracy test. And I'm sure if you are applying a good amount of time, if you're applying a good amount of energy and good amount of thinking also in that model only, na, it would work. It would surely work.
Right.
So
Right.
just to have that particular thing in your mind that in the between, don't stop that. Okay, I used up the wrong now. How will I be able to do that? Just don't get it into your mind. Simply whatever you have chosen, go with that because that is your decision and you should stick on to your decision anyhow.
Yeah. Right. Because at the end of the day, we have to be as efficient as we can. Right. So, uh, in hackathons, in any hackathon, balancing speed with the data integrity and your model's accuracy is very important, right? Everybody has to maintain that throughout the hackathon so that the end product is, you know, presentable and has solved the problem statement, right? So uh, how do how should participants approach that? What advice would you give the participants regarding this?
Okay. So I would just say even if you're working individual or let's say you're having up a team. So initially when you get the project to work with, whatever the problem you are getting, you have to solve that particular problem. Just get in the starting 10 to 15 minutes making a mind map or a roadmap how you are going to approach of this complete problem. The initial
Yeah.
15 to 15 minutes should be given into that portion only, that how will you be approaching up this complete part, right? That is the most important uh, starting time that you can get it over there. The starting 15 minutes, if you are making them absolutely workable, absolutely correct, so that is the most important part that you can get it over there. The starting 15 minutes, if you are making them absolutely workable, absolutely correct, so that now
Right.
you are going to approach the complete part, right? That is the most important I hope I'm audible.
Shambhavi, we are not able to see you at the moment. Yeah,
I'm audible, right?
yeah. You are. For a moment, we had
Okay.
a little technical difficulty.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, you can carry on.
I was just telling that we have to, in the starting, we just have to devote that 10 to 15 minutes in the initial stage so that
Right,
whatever the planning I have to do for this problem, that how will I approach, and if I have a team, so who is going to do which
mm,
part of this complete project, we can decide it in the 15
right,
minutes. See what the students, I have been mentoring a lot of students in a lot of hackathons also. So what the initial thing the students do is that they do not make a map. As soon as they get the problem, they say, okay, I just have 24 hours. They rush up working onto that, just importing libraries and working onto that. They do not try to
yeah,
understand what is this problem and how to approach this problem, what parts have to be done. So in the initial, if you
right,
are working in the initial 10-15 minutes you're giving to that particular part, so I'm pretty sure that further you won't face any difficulties in solving that particular problem, because you already have an idea into your mind that how do I have to approach this, right? And when you have an idea that how you have to approach any particular part, you are all set to go ahead and work with that particular part. So that is only my advice to each and every student participating in this hackathon, that guys, in the initial time, think of that how will you be doing that, what things will you be applying,
right,
what things you will not be applying, and then just go ahead
right,
with that and solve it all around. So once you have
right.
a kind of a map or roadmap, mind map, anything into your mind, you can excel it very easily.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's very true. And also, while working on a project related to data science, there can be unexpected data issues or discrepancies during a hackathon, and people get people often get very nervous whenever they face such issues. So, how would you in that situation address those issues during a hackathon?
Okay, see, whenever you are competing with any other person, either it is a one student
Yeah,
or either there are thousands of students, these kind of panic issues or these kind of anxiety
yeah,
things comes onto the way, because we have that
yeah,
word that okay, I'm competing with this particular person. So
yeah,
at that time, I would just suggest that guys, here you have to compete it from your own self, that what better you have got into your own self. You do not have to do a competition with
right,
anyone else over there. It's you with whom you are own competing, that in my previous hackathon I did this much part of the complete problem I solved, and so in this one I am going to solve the complete portion of this complete hackathon problem which I have gotten. You should compete with your
right,
own self, and when you have made this into your mind that okay, whatever happens, I do not have to like rush behind, I have to be first, second, or third. I am going to give the
yeah,
best out of myself for this particular part. You won't face any issue. You if you in case between you get any error or something, so you will be able to handle that very easily. So do not think that okay, I am going to compete here with thousands or 10,000 of students. You are competing with your own self, right? And it
right,
happens that when you are just see, it's again a kind of a test only, right? It
yeah,
happens that in between we try to forget the things, that this or that, this or that. So keep your mind a little bit calm. Okay, this is not going to
yeah,
decide your further future, guys. Just take that into
yeah,
your mind. You are just going practicing all of these things, so that you get to know that how much efficient you have been into this particular field and how much you more have to put it into this for coming into the real world. That is it, what you have to do,
right,
right? Here you're not behind any race. So just keep these things into your mind and you would pretty do good into that particular part. Just don't think that you are gonna do a competition with 10,000 students. Just think that you are competing your own previous self, and that's it.
yeah, yeah. That one moment of motivation is very important for hackathon participants. So, could you could you share some of your experience? Like, could you share some lessons that you learned from past hackathons and your past in general that have enhanced your effectiveness as a data scientist?
Okay, see, many a times it happens. The very first thing which I have learned is that many times it happens that I think that my data, whatever I have worked on this particular thing, whatever applications or whatever the things I have applied upon to my data, I had
Yeah,
applied it in the correct manner. Many times it happens that we think, okay, whatever I have done, that is the best which I can do of it, this particular thing. But when you go to
right,
the other person, their point of view, that okay, this is something which I have applied, and now you tell, is this okay, right? So that person will tell you
right,
that okay, this is something which you have done, that is correct, right? But apart from this, if you have used up this, so your time would have been reduced, your
yeah,
energy would have been reduced applying this particular thing. So it's always important to take others perspective, others point of view on whatever you are working. Absolutely, I would say whatever you have worked in, even I have been working in a lot of projects, so I think I have been working absolutely correct. That was a part of the correct thing which I have worked. But when I went to other person, taking the point of view or perspective of that person, so they told me that sorry, so they told me that okay, this is not something, absolutely it is correct, but if you have applied this part, it would have been more effective, right? So always try to take suggestions, always try to show your projects to other persons so that they can guide you to the best out of that. And
right.
when you're working with any sorry, whenever you are working with any data science project in the middle, it will many times happen that now you don't find a way that how to do this. Let's say you are doing a data cleaning
Yeah,
only, right? And some of the data is not
yeah,
getting cleaned. Now you don't have any other particular part, right? So that comes many times on between. In that, just take a break of 15-20 minutes, go have a tea or a coffee, and then come back and
yeah,
things work in. If you try to struggle and sit there at that particular part and struggle over there only, your mind will get completely burst, and then you won't be able to work further with that.
yeah,
So take a small break
yeah,
of
right,
15 minutes, let your mind refresh, and trust me, once you come back now, you find it more effectively working. You find it, okay, it's working good
yeah,
now. I can further work onto that completely. So working in a data field, you get a lot of data, right? So it's many times it becomes a
right,
little frustration also for you to deal with a lot. So just take small breaks, that also I have learned in. And yeah, these only things that, see, technical things, so everyone knows that you have to apply the correct
yeah,
model, get the good learning in machine learning, get the good learning in Python. These all things everyone knows. Apart from that, these two things I have learned in. First of all, try to take others point of view over your projects, whatever you have been done, there might be some good more idea
yeah,
for that. And if you're struggling with any part that you're not getting that, just take a small break in between, 5-10 minutes, 15 minutes
yeah,
as the time permits, and once you come back, it will work automatically for you. So yeah, these two advices I would give to
yeah,
everyone, even to the people who are being participating in this hackathon. Guys,
yeah,
if at some time you're stuck, just get the 5 to 10 minutes of break, and once you come back now, you will see the things have automatically been working. So give this a
yeah.
try in this hackathon of yours.
Yeah, it's one of the good things for a hackathon that is as long as 24 to 36 hours. You can take small breaks in between and just refresh your mind and get back to work more efficiently. And the end product that comes out of that is very impressive. And it's almost a work of art.
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been amazing speaking to you, and you've given some amazing tips to our participants. And I hope they learn from it, and I hope I get to interact with you even in the future. And thank you for taking your time. And thank you, everyone who is watching this video. And I hope to see you very soon in Hackathon. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.